Hi everyone, welcome to Coding Ninjas, and I hope I am audible. I hope you guys are able to see me. Just quickly give me a quick thumbs up, just a quick hi that you are able to hear me, and we will be proceeding with the agenda for today's Emma. Right? Like the idea is actually there is no agenda. जो भी questions हैं बताओ फटाफट से है ना, and I'll answer all those questions. I'm hoping जो भी डाउट्स हैं सारे डाउट्स तुम अपने क्लियर कर लोगे इस ड्यूरिंग दिस सेशन, एंड उसके बाद जाके ढंग से यू विल बी एबल टू फोकस ऑन योर वर्क, गेट द वर्क डन, पढ़ाई कर लेंगे हम, अच्छे से कुछ सीख लेंगे, राइट? लाइक दैट विल इवेंचुअली गेट अस वेर एवर वी वांट टू गेट टू इन आवर करियर. सो जो भी बाकी डाउट्स हैं फटाफट से पूछ लो ताकि तुम्हें क्लैरिटी आ जाए एग्जैक्टली क्या क्या करना है, हमें कैसे करना है, सो दैट वी आर focused on actually doing it, and every day we are not just confused. ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, ऐसे करना चाहिए, वैसे करना चाहिए, वो सब कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहना चाहिए. सिर्फ ये रहना चाहिए कि चलो करते हैं, है ना? बस जो भी डाउट्स है फटाफट से पूछ लो, एंड आई विल बी हैप्पी टू आंसर ऑल ऑफ देम हियर. Perfect. So let me quickly take few questions. I can see a lot of them coming in the chat, and let me quickly pick few of them, and then I'll add few of the things that I want to talk about as well. ठीक है, so let's start with this. So Nikhil Chaudhary is saying that what are the most important skills that aspiring developers should focus on today's tech industry? There. So I think one thing that all of us need to realize is that what is hot today might not be hot tomorrow. But to be a good software developer, the basic skills, the basic principles have to be there. ठीक है, ऊपर की चीजें चेंज होती रहेंगी. आज कोई पीएचपी में जनरली लोग सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं, अब रूबी ऑन रेल्स में कर रहे हैं, अब नोड जेएस में कर रहे हैं, कल कुछ और आ जाएगा उसमें कर लेंगे. बट जो बेसिक स्किल सेट है दैट मेक्स यू ग्रेट सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर विल स्टे द सेम. So anybody who is looking for a long-term career in software development, the first thing you need to do is get really good in programming in general. डेटा स्ट्रक्चर एल्गोरिथम्स में, जनरल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के अंदर, जनरली किसी भी एक लैंग्वेज के अंदर अगर हमारी प्रोग्रामिंग बहुत स्ट्रांग हो जाती है, then you will be able to catch on all these new techs, all these new trends that you will see, and keep getting better and better at overall software development. The idea is that if you become a good, let's say for example, web developer, then changing technology will hardly matter to you. The basic principles of the technologies generally tend to move much slower compared to the technology itself, right? बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स लाइक, अच्छा एक डेटाबेस होता है, वो तो होता ही है बहुत टाइम से, है ना? उसके अंदर डेटा स्टोर करते हैं, क्या जनरली क्या टेक्नोलॉजी है, अगर हमें फ्रंट एंड से बैक एंड से डेटा लाना है, फ्रंट एंड हमें अगर कुछ एसिंक करना है तो कैसे होगा, सिंक्रोनस करना है तो कैसे होगा, ये सब कुछ जो बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स है ना वो सेम ही रहते हैं. बट नई टेक्नोलॉजी उसको बेटर तरीके से कर लेती है, बेटर तरीके से करती है. बट इफ यू आर स्ट्रॉन्ग इन योर बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स, नई टेक्नोलॉजी सीखने में टाइम नहीं लगता. So what I'm trying to answer is today's tech industry is not that important. What is important is what skills that we need to have to be safe from changing technologies. I think you need to be really good in basic programming. Data algorithm में हमें strong होना पड़ेगा, problem solving हमें strong करनी पड़ेगी, and along with that, if you want to be, let's say, a web developer, then don't try to become a PHP developer or a Ruby developer. Don't try to become a Python Django developer. Try to become a great web developer who understands things in detail. सिर्फ सरफेस पे नहीं पता है मुझे ढंग से मैंने प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाए हैं, मैंने उनको ढंग से पूरा अच्छे से बिल्ड किया है, राइट? आई हैव ट्राइड टू डू मल्टीपल थिंग्स टू फिगर आउट व्हिच वन इज द बेस्ट वे टू सॉर्ट ऑफ गो फॉरवर्ड. जनरली एक चीज मैं बहुत लोगों को बोलता हूँ कि यार तुम लोग प्लीज 10 प्रोजेक्ट मत बनाओ. फाइनली रेज्यूमे में हमें एक या दो ही प्रोजेक्ट डालने चाहिए, बिकॉज दैट वुड रिक्वायर यू टू वर्क डीपली इनटू वन प्रोजेक्ट. जनरली क्या होता है ना, अगर हम 10 प्रोजेक्ट पे काम करते हैं, शुरू का फेज तो सिमिलर ही होता है, वही वो डेटाबेस सेटअप करना है, वही सब कुछ बेसिक बेसिक काम करने हैं, हमारा बहुत सारा टाइम उसी में चला जाता है. बट अगर हम एक ही प्रोजेक्ट पे आइटरेट करते रहेंगे, हमें नई प्रॉब्लम्स पे काम करना पड़ेगा, हम नए फीचर्स ऐड कर रहे होंगे, हम नई टेक्नोलॉजी यूज कर रहे होंगे, हम नई नई चीजें अलग अलग तरीके से एक्सप्लोर कर रहे होंगे. That will be far more helpful in terms of your knowledge, in terms of how it will look on your resume, in terms of how insightful discussion you will be able to do with the interviewer as well. So generally we need to learn these basics really well. टेक्नोलॉजी एज इट चेंजेस यू विल बी ओके, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट। मैं बता रहा हूँ, एक बंदा अगर बहुत अमेजिंग वेब डेवलपर है ना, अगर उसको थोड़े टाइम बाद एआई एमएल में कुछ करना है, तो यार वो धीरे धीरे करते करते सीख जाएगा, उसको इतना टाइम नहीं लगेगा, बिकॉज वो बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ जो एआई एमएल भी कर रहा है, उसको इवेंचुअली उसको डिप्लॉय करना है ना, वेबसाइट पे कहीं पे डिप्लॉय करना पड़ेगा उसको, बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ सर्वर पे कैसे डेटा डालना है, कैसे नहीं डालना है, कैसे एक्सेस करना है, वो सब कुछ तो है ना, तो वो बेसिक प्रिंसिपल्स उसके पास रहेंगे। So generally, just build on the basics, start with that, and you'll be absolutely okay. Perfect. ठीक है. Let me take this question from Riya. Riya is saying, are trees and graphs important for clearing interviews? मैं ना जब भी मुझे कोई ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछता है, मैं सबसे पहली चीज तो यही पूछता हूँ उनसे कि ये क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछ रहे हो? तुम मुझे बताओ, ट्रीज एंड ग्राफ्स अगर तुम्हें पढ़ना होगा, कितना टाइम लग जाएगा? 2 हफ्ते लग जाएंगे, 3 हफ्ते लग जाएंगे, कर लो ना। हम सबको एग्जाम्स की इतनी बुरी आदत लगी हुई है। हमें क्या लगता है, कुछ सीख रहे हैं, एक दिन एग्जाम आएगा, उसके अगले दिन दिमाग से उसको निकाल के फेंक दो। हमें वो चाहिए ही नहीं जिंदगी में कभी। दिस इज व्हाट वी आर यूज्ड टू। कुछ भी पढ़ते हैं एग्जाम के लिए, रटते हैं, जैसे भी करते हैं, एग्जाम दिया और उसका दिमाग में आता है कि सब निकाल दो बाहर। ऐसा नहीं है हमारे करंट सिनेरियो में। Whatever you learn, you don't just learn for your job interview, you learn for doing well in your job as well. Whatever you will learn will be there for you, with you forever. अगली जॉब के लिए अप्लाई करोगे, वहां पे दोबारा सेम क्वेश्चन पूछे जाएंगे, दोबारा से इन चीजों पे फोकस किया जाएगा। काम करते हुए भी ये सब कुछ चाहिए। सो हमें ये एग्जाम माइंडसेट से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा कि यार ये टॉपिक इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, 2 नंबर का ही आता है। ऐसे थोड़ी होता है यहाँ पे। जो भी सीख रहे हो दैट इज फॉर लाइफ लॉन्ग। यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज नॉट एग्जाम्स। सो हमें ये नहीं सोचना है ये टॉपिक इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये टॉपिक इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है। अगर जनरली हमें लग रहा है डेटा स्ट्रक्चर एल्गोरिथम में हमें स्ट्रांग होना है और ये सारी चीजें, तो सारी चीजें करो अच्छे से। क्या जल्दी है भाई? लाइफ लॉन्ग चाहिए तो टाइम भी तो हमारे पास ज्यादा है ना करने के लिए। ऐसा थोड़ी है कि हर सेमेस्टर में 6 एग्जाम आ रहे हैं, हर सेमेस्टर में मेरे को 6 अलग टॉपिक पढ़ने हैं, हर सेमेस्टर में मुझे 6 अलग सब्जेक्ट पढ़ने हैं अपने इंटरव्यूज के लिए। अगर कॉलेज में हो या कहीं पर भी हो, अगर जब भी इंटरव्यू दोगे, वही वो दो तीन टाइप ऑफ सॉर्ट ऑफ एरियाज हैं जहां पर हमें फोकस करना है, उनको अच्छे से कर लो एक बार, बहुत काम आएगा। प्लीज गेट आउट ऑफ दिस माइंडसेट। एंड गेटिंग टू योर क्वेश्चन का सीधा सीधा आंसर भाई, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। ट्रीज एंड ग्राफ्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, प्लीज कर लो। वेरी लाइकली किसी भी ढंग की प्रोडक्ट कंपनी में अप्लाई करोगे, कुछ ना कुछ तो ट्रीज या ग्राफ है पूछ ही लेंगे। ठीक है, लेट्स टेक फ्यू मोर। डीएसए प्रोजेक्ट्स और डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स फॉर प्लेसमेंट। देखो, डीएसए प्रोजेक्ट कुछ नहीं होते हैं। डीएसए प्रोजेक्ट्स जनरली जस्ट रिज्यूमे फिलर होते हैं कि मेरे को कुछ प्रोजेक्ट चाहिए तो मैं कुछ डीएसए का प्रोजेक्ट डाल दूं। जनरली होते नहीं है डीएसए प्रोजेक्ट इन इटसेल्फ कुछ। सो जनरली इफ यू आर इन कॉलेज एंड यू हैव इनफ टाइम, even if you're not in college, whatever you're doing, you want to sit for placements, you want to apply, my strong recommendation will be, पहले हमें अपनी फाउंडेशन स्ट्रांग करनी है, डेटा एल्गोरिथम हमें स्ट्रांग करना है, अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस करना है, ठीक ठाक नंबर ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स हमें सॉल्व करनी है, बट वहां पे रुकना नहीं है। वी नीड टू फोकस ऑन डेवलपमेंट एज वेल। बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। 2 रीजन है क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है। एक चीज तो ये है कि बहुत सारी कंपनीज, a lot of startups, mid-sized companies will not just focus on DSA, they will focus on your development skills very very, like उनके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। क्योंकि उनको ये नहीं चाहिए कि तुम जाओगे और फिर तुम सीखोगे 3 महीने बैठ के। उनको चाहिए आओ और आके काम करो। 3 महीने तक तुम्हें सिखा नहीं सकते हम बिठा के। सो दे वांट यू टू बी गुड इन डेवलपमेंट व्हेन यू आर अप्लाइंग itself. And along with that, the second thing is, even at larger companies, जनरली योर resume will look very weak अगर हमने ढंग के प्रोजेक्ट्स, डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स नहीं किए होंगे। एंड अगर ढंग के डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स किए होंगे, जनरली यू विल रियलाइज तुम्हारे इंटरव्यूज के अंदर देयर विल बी अ गुड अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम दैट विल बी स्पेंट अपॉन टॉकिंग अबाउट योर प्रोजेक्ट्स। अगर ढंग के प्रोजेक्ट्स होंगे तो। जितना टाइम प्रोजेक्ट्स पे बात हो रही है, उतना टाइम डीएसए पे कम बात हो रही है ना। So you can sort of say that if you have good projects in your resume, 80% जो डीएसए पे बात होनी थी वो 50% रह गई। सो इफेक्टिवली तुम्हारे इंटरव्यू के अंदर 50% डीएसए इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया, 30% वेब डेव इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया एंड तुम्हारा प्रोजेक्ट इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया। तुमने जो प्रोजेक्ट किया है दैट इज द इजीएस्ट थिंग टू एब्सोल्युटली क्रैक। तुमने एक प्रोजेक्ट पे अगर अच्छे से काम किया और उसके ऊपर तुमसे कोई क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहा है, दैट शुड बी द इजीएस्ट थिंग टू सॉर्ट ऑफ डू वेल इन, अगर हमने उसको ढंग से एक्चुअली किया है। अगर सही कहीं से सिर्फ चुरा लिया है, उसको कहीं से कॉपी कर लिया तो नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो फेल हो जाएंगे। दैट्स नॉट व्हाट आई एम सजेस्टिंग। आई एम सजेस्टिंग post doing DSA we need to focus on development as well, extremely important. That is the true power of computer science. कुछ बनाओगे जो एक्चुअली यूज हो रहा होगा। मैं बता रहा हूँ, मेरे को हमेशा कॉलेज में जब मैं बीटेक कर रहा था, मेरे को हमेशा लगता था पता नहीं क्या है यार, क्यों करना है ये, किस चीज के काम आने वाला है, पता नहीं करना भी है सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट के नहीं करना है। फाइनली जब इंटरव्यूज भी हो रहे थे, मैं सब टाइप की कंपनियों में अप्लाई कर रहा था। बट एज सुन एज आई ज्वाइंड Amazon, भाई ज्वाइन करने के 3 महीने में मुझे समझ में आ गया था कि सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग अमेजिंग है, यही करना है मुझे तो। एंड द रीजन वाज नॉट कि मेरे को डेवलपमेंट में मजा आ रहा था, मुझे उसके इम्पैक्ट में मजा आ रहा था। तुम कुछ करते हो, तुम अगर डेवलपमेंट में कुछ भी काम करते हो, वट एवर यू बिल्ड हैज पोटेंशियल टू रीच टू मिलियंस एंड मिलियंस ऑफ यूजर्स। अगर तुम किसी बड़ी कंपनी में काम कर रहे हो, कुछ भी काम करोगे, मिलियंस एंड मिलियंस ऑफ यूजर के पास जा रहा होगा, राइट? इमेजिन करो एट कोडिंग निंजास हम आज तक 1 लाख से ऊपर बच्चे पढ़ा चुके हैं। The only reason we are able to do this and do it in the right way is because we use technology to deliver what we wanted to do. अगर मुझे बहुत सारे सेंटर्स खोल के हर जगह पे पढ़ाना होता, तो नहीं पढ़ा पाते क्वालिटी के साथ, नहीं मिलते उतने अच्छे टीचर्स। बट यूजिंग द टेक्नोलॉजी, यूजिंग वेब डेवलपमेंट, यूजिंग अदर टेक्नोलॉजी थिंग्स, we are able to deliver it to so many people at a time. Amazon is able to do it to millions and millions of hundreds of millions of users, right? दिस इज द ट्रू पावर ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट। सो बता रहा हूं, अगर एक बार तुम्हें डेवलपमेंट करने में मजा आना शुरू हो गया, दैट विल रियली टेल यू दैट यू वांट टू बी इन सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट। दैट इज वेयर यू विल डू रियली रियली वेल। प्लीज डीएसए पे मत रुको। फिर से बता रहा हूँ, ये माइंडसेट हमें हटाना पड़ेगा अपने दिमाग से। 2 साल जेई की तैयारी की थी, पता नहीं शायद तुम लोगों ने ज्यादा भी की हो, आजकल पता नहीं लोग कब से करनी शुरू कर देते हैं। बट अब ये जो 4 साल कॉलेज के हैं, ये 4 साल फिर से एक नई जेई की तैयारी मत बनाओ इसको कि जॉब की तैयारी कर रहे हैं। कुछ सीख लो। वी नीड टू फोकस ऑन दैट एज वेल। इन द एंड whoever will learn the best will be getting great jobs. ठीक है? सो देयर इज नो शॉर्टकट, देयर इज नो कि क्या टॉपिक इंपॉर्टेंट है सिर्फ वो कर लेता हूँ। यू नीड टू फोकस ऑन, यू नीड टू स्टार्ट एंजॉइंग दिस प्रोसेस ऑफ लर्निंग। मैं बता रहा हूँ, बेस्ट जॉब लगेगी। सो डोंट ट्राई टू मिनिमाइज, डीएसए करो अच्छे से, फिर वेब डेवलपमेंट या जो भी डेवलपमेंट एरिया तुम्हें अच्छा लगता है उसमें घुसो एंड उसमें अच्छे से काम करो। आई कैन एश्योर यू, अगर तुमने ढंग से वो किया, एज सुन एज यू विल बिल्ड योर फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट, उसको डिप्लॉय करोगे और 10 लोगों ने भी यूज करना शुरू कर दिया ना, यू विल एब्सोल्युटली गेट एडिक्टेड टू डेवलपमेंट, टू बिल्डिंग स्टफ, राइट? टू बिल्डिंग समथिंग दैट इज यूज्ड बाय पीपल। अमेजिंग पावर फील होती है अंदर से कि मैंने कुछ बनाया है जो लोग यूज कर रहे हैं। देयर इज नो स्टॉपिंग आफ्टर दैट। तुम्हें मोटिवेशन ही नहीं चाहिए होगी उसके बाद काम करने के लिए, अपने आप मोटिवेटेड होगे कि हाँ मेरे को अब इसमें कुछ बेटर करना है, इसको बेटर करना है, इसमें कुछ कैसे करना है, because whatever you have built is actually used by people. So do work on development projects, do work on development as well. That's really going to help you in your long term. काश मुझे पता होता रिसेशन कब खत्म होगा, है ना? जिसको भी पता होगा रिसेशन कब खत्म होगा, एग्जैक्टली exactly, उसकी तो लॉटरी लग जाएगी, राइट? सो देखो, जनरली रिसेशन comes after every few years. It's a cycle. Most of the time we are in a up cycle. Generally इकोनॉमी अच्छा कर रही होती है, हम बढ़िया कर रहे होते हैं। एक लंबे टाइम तक अच्छा करने के बाद एक थोड़ा सा टाइम आता है जब हम खराब करते हैं। ठीक है? जब हम थोड़ा खराब करते हैं वो रिसेशन पीरियड होता है, अभी हम उसके थ्रू जा रहे हैं। मुझे जनरली लोगों से तुम बात करोगे तो बोलेंगे यार 1 साल, 1.5 साल, 2 साल, 2.5 साल चलना चाहिए, उससे लंबा नहीं चलना चाहिए। आई थिंक 1 डेढ़ साल हमें हो चुका है। मुझे लगता है ऐसा हो सकता है कि अभी 3 4 5 महीने में थोड़ी चीजें बेटर होनी शुरू होंगी, राइट? एंड ओवर द नेक्स्ट 12 15 months वी शुड बी डूइंग मच मच बेटर। मोस्ट लाइकली वी आर एट द बॉटम, अब इससे और खराब नहीं होना चाहिए, धीरे धीरे चीजें अब बेटर होनी चाहिए, बट एग्जैक्टली कब होंगी वो किसी को नहीं पता है, बट एक्सपेक्टेशन यही है। अब वही होता है ना यार, एक वॉर हो गई, फिर एक और हो गई, अब इन सबका किसके ऊपर कंट्रोल है? एंड दीज थिंग्स एक्चुअली इम्पैक्ट द इकोनॉमी, दीज थिंग्स एक्चुअली इम्पैक्ट रिसेशन, कितना स्ट्रांग होगा, कितना बुरा होगा, कितना खराब होगा। तो अगर ये सब कुछ होता रहेगा तो फिर प्रॉब्लम है, राइट? सो होपफुली things will be better, right? This current war will also come under control, जो भी होगा hopefully धीरे धीरे we will be able to come out of this. Generally the cycle has been around for 1.5 years, तो मुझे लगता है कि अगले 5 7 महीने में we should start seeing a little better things, and 1 1.5 साल में we should be okay. बट मैं फिर से बता रहा हूँ, एक चीज तुम्हें रियलाइज करनी पड़ेगी, रिसेशन बेस्ट टाइम होता है अपस्किल करने के लिए, क्योंकि इस टाइम पे यू शुड फील द डेस्परेशन कि अगर अपस्किल नहीं किया, कुछ ढंग से नहीं सीखा, तो भाई जॉब नहीं लगने वाली है। अप साइकिल में क्या होता है ना, जब अच्छा चल रहा होता है, जैसे अभी आज से 1.5 2 साल पहले, लिटरली बता रहा हूँ ऐसा था, आता है कुछ के नहीं आता है, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट में अगर कुछ भी बेसिक काम किया हुआ है तो जॉब लग जाएगी, मल्टीपल जॉब ऑफर मिल जाएंगे, इतनी इतनी अजीब वो थी ना मार्केट। देयर वाज लाइक एवरीबॉडी वाज जस्ट रनिंग आफ्टर सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर्स। सो दिस इज अ परफेक्ट टाइम, जीरो डिस्टर्बेंस, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते कि रोज अप्लाई कर रहे हैं इधर उधर, सीखो ढंग से बैठ के, एंड एब्सोल्युटली अमेजिंग टाइमिंग है, अभी शुरू करेंगे, किसी को भी ढंग से अभी शुरू करके कुछ एक लेवल पे पहुंचने में 9 10 महीने लगेंगे, ठीक है? अगर मैं डेडिकेटेडली काम करूंगा तो मेरे को 9 10 महीने लगेंगे, एंड बाय दैट टाइम वी शुड बी इन दी अपर, लाइक वी शुड बी गोइंग टुवर्ड्स दी अपर अप ट्रेंड, राइट? एंड ऑटोमेटिकली वी विल बी एबल टू फिट इन द राइट प्लेस, we will be able to get the best out of that time. And most of the people currently are not really thinking of upskilling. अभी लोगों को लग रहा है कि जिस जॉब में है बैठे रहो बस, बट ये तो समझो ना भाई, अपस्किलिंग अभी शुरू करेंगे अगर, तभी तो 9 10 महीने, 11 महीने, 12 महीने के बाद अप्लाई कर पाएंगे। अगर अप साइकिल की वेट करेंगे, जब वो साइकिल आ जाएगी उसके बाद शुरू करेंगे अपस्किलिंग, तो 12 महीने उसके बाद लगेंगे ना। सो दिस इज एब्सोल्युटली परफेक्ट टाइम, रिसेशन की टेंशन मत लो, सीख लो, कुछ अच्छे से सीख लो, कुछ ढंग से बना लो, प्रोजेक्ट्स पे ढंग से काम कर लो, अमेजिंग टाइम है। एंड बाय द टाइम यू कंप्लीट ऑल ऑफ दिस, आई एम टेलिंग यू, वेरी वेरी लाइकली वी विल बी डूइंग मच बेटर इकोनॉमी परस्पेक्टिव से। Okay, great question from Anurag. Anurag is saying, Anurag is a 36-year-old commerce graduate with good communication in English. I want to be a software developer. Does industry accept people of my age from different domain? देखो, इंग्लिश से इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता। विल इंडस्ट्री एक्सेप्ट, अगर तुम सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर बनना चाहते हो, एक चीज तो है कि सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट जॉब्स में इंडस्ट्री इज द मोस्ट लिबरल अबाउट दीज थिंग्स। उनको ना फर्क नहीं पड़ता बहुत ज्यादा, उनको इन द एंड इस चीज से फर्क पड़ता है, तुम कितने अच्छे डेवलपर हो, तुम कितने अच्छे तरीके से चीजों को सीख पा रहे हो, समझ पा रहे हो, बना पा रहे हो। दैट इज व्हाट दिस इंडस्ट्री रियली केयर्स अबाउट। They care far far less about your degree, your background, your college, your age. What they really cares about is कितने अच्छे से तुम कर पा रहे हो। But that also means that a lot of people want to be in this industry. And ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर मेरे पास, मान लो मेरे पास ऑप्शन है, ये दो लोग हैं, दोनों बढ़िया है, एक तुम्हारी प्रोफाइल से आ रहा है जिसको इतना टाइम का गैप है और बेसिकली कुछ और कर रहा था, एक दूसरा बंदा है जो कि रिलेटिवली यंग है, या उसने अभी अभी कुछ कुछ और इंटरेस्टिंग काम किए हैं उसको, या फिर उसको थोड़ा ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है टेक में, तो टेंडेंसी होगी कि लोग सेकेंड ऑप्शन को चूज कर रहे होंगे। बट आई एम टेलिंग यू द ओनली वे फॉर यू टू मूव फॉरवर्ड इन दिस इज दैट यू गिव अ हार्ड कमिटमेंट, कि अब अगर करना है तो फोड़ना है, अच्छे से करना है एकदम, जो भी करेंगे एकदम अच्छे से करेंगे, राइट? डोंट डू द मिनिमम, do it because you want to do it, and do it in the right way, put in a lot of effort। एक बार ढंग की जगह पहुंच गए, देन देयर इज nobody stopping you। एक बार एक जॉब में घुस गए, देन देयर इज nothing stopping you, then the only thing stopping you will be if you don't work hard, if you don't do quality work, that's the only thing that will stop you। I can find multiple examples of people who have taken a lot of gap, who are coming from different backgrounds and getting into IT, you will find enough examples, But in the end, easier said than done. You will have to work very hard to sort of get there. So this is very similar to what I just talked about in terms of recession. 2024, I think, see, currently the market is very tight, right? The jobs are relatively less. But one thing that I do want you to understand is that you will graduate in June, July 2024. So you should be okay. We should be doing better by then. And even if not, instead of continuously worrying about what will happen with recession, what will happen with the economy, which is not in your hand, I'm telling you, what is in your hand is that keep getting better. See, when we say there is recession, there are less number of jobs. There might be 25% less jobs, 30% less jobs, 35% less jobs. It's not that we have zero jobs. Even if we have 35-40% less jobs, 60% jobs are still there. So if you work hard, if you do well, you will be able to get a job. So it's not that there are zero jobs out there. Obviously, because there are less jobs, companies are going to be choosy. Because there are less jobs out there, more candidates out there, companies are going to be choosy now. So you need to really work on your skills. If you work on your skills, you will be able to find a job. Please don't worry about that. But if I talk about overall 2024 batch, yes, there will be a lot of people who will not find a job because they have not worked on their skills. And overall, it's going to be an issue at least once they graduate. Over time, obviously, they'll be okay, right? If they don't get a job right away after college, maybe in 6 months they'll get it, in 9 months they'll get it, depending upon how much time who puts when. If you start putting it right now, you might get a job much faster than everybody else. If people start realizing this, that I need to upskill, I need to work on my skills after they graduate, then they will get it a little later. Okay. So I think I've already answered this, Rajiv. Basically, see, in the end, if you're not getting response, you need to really focus on what is missing in you. One thing that I really want all of you to realize is that when we are not getting success, there are two ways to respond to this. One is to focus on the external things, that how are they impacting your success. There is recession, that is why it is impacting my success, right? Or my college is bad, that's why it's impacting my success. Or you will find like 10 other reasons why, what is happening outside which is impacting your success. There is another way to look at this. What is it that is lacking in you that is impacting your success? Now, the difference between these two things is, the first one you cannot control, you cannot change. That can only frustrate you. That can only keep getting you frustrated because you can't change that. Can you go ahead and change the world economy right now? You cannot. Then what is the point of focusing on that? I am again telling you, it's not that there are zero jobs out there. There are still plenty and plenty of tech jobs out there. It's lesser than the usual. The good part about the second thing is, see, most of us want to focus on the first one because I don't have to work hard on that. I know I can't change that. So I'll just say, okay, okay, let me wait. But on the case of second one, you have to first of all accept that there is something missing in me. I need to work on myself. I need to improve myself. A lot of people tend to focus on first. Few people who focus on second are the one who don't get frustrated, who actually improve themselves, who actually get to the amazing jobs as well, because they are actually making progress. The first one is just standing there and hoping that success will come to them. I know you might feel कि थोड़ा ज्ञान दे रहा हूँ, but this is very, very important. You just think of this, right? This is exactly a lot of people do. A lot of, and this is something that I do as well a lot of times. If I'm not able to do it, I will try and find reasons outside my control, because that gives me a feeling that I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm doing absolutely okay. But as soon as you take a moment, take a step back and realize that's not something that's going to get you to the where you want to get to. Where you want to get to, you will have to find ways to get there. irrespective of the external environment. That's why I said now is the perfect time to upskill yourself, work on yourself, improve your coding skills, improve your development skills, and that's what will get you to an amazing job. So Annie is saying, sir, literally, I've done all the courses related to DSA development, including system design through Coding Ninjas, but only the SQL course has not met my expectation. Annie, I'm really sorry to hear this. I will definitely pass on this feedback to my team that we need to work more on our SQL course. Right? I'm glad that you like the rest of the courses, but I'll definitely make sure that my team sort of works on the SQL course as well. Thank you. So Ankit, first of all, you're not switching your domain. What you need to realize is that everybody who is in mechanical, a lot of them will move into tech. And being a BTech like background, right? Nobody really, like even in IT companies, nobody really thinks that CS people have far more knowledge than what mechanical people are going to have. That's the sad reality. That the expectation overall is that college is not going to teach you much. Now, whether the mechanical person or the CS person has put in the effort to learn and upskill themselves, that's the person we need to hire. That's the reality. So don't think of yourself as a non domain, like changing domains or anything. How many people go into mechanical jobs after doing mechanical? Almost all, I'm sure it'll be single digit number, right? So either they go into management sort of areas or they will move into IT. So I think you are absolutely okay. Don't worry about it, right? And I'm telling you, these are all sort of insecurities that keep us scared, that keep us feeling that even if I work hard, whether I'll get to the end or not. And we need to really stop these insecurities. I tell this to everybody, right? Like that, if there are 100 companies, there might be 10, 15 who will say, I'm not going to interview mechanical people. And I'm telling you, these are not even companies that are worth interviewing. If they have such narrow-minded sort of approach, then I think we are okay not going there. So now in the remaining companies, now one way to look at this is, oh, these companies are not giving me opportunities. How will I get a job? But you need to realize there are 85 more companies who will allow you to sit, who will allow you to give, who will give you the best sort of opportunities. Then why are you worried about these 10-15%? In the end, again, these are not exams. In exams, we have to clear all the exams. That's the default. In interviews, we have to clear one company. I don't need 10,000 jobs. I don't need 10 jobs. I had to clear all 10 exams if I had 10 exams in my semester. But when I'm applying for companies and I apply to 10 companies, I need to clear just one. As long as I get one good company, that's absolutely okay. Guys, do feel free to sort of ask follow-ups on whatever I'm saying. I'm hoping that this is useful and you guys are able to understand. But please do sort of follow up if you feel there is something more that you want to clarify from whatever I'm saying. Okay, perfect. I love this question. So Aman is saying, please tell me, what should I do, ML or web dev? See, generally, in terms of the path that somebody should take, right? The first thing, DSA, we need to do that, right? We need to do that. You can't skip that. You need to take care of it. Just pick one language. I could see a lot of questions around, should I do C++, should I do Python, should I do Java? भाई एक कर लो, कुछ भी कर लो, बस कर लो. Stop asking this question. Honestly, एकदम irrelevant है. It's like saying that मैं तुम्हारे सामने बैठा हूँ. It's like saying that मैं तुम्हारे सामने बैठा हूँ. मुझे इंग्लिश भी आती है, मुझे हिंदी भी आती है, मुझे पंजाबी भी आती है. तुम मुझसे किस लैंग्वेज में बात करो, भाई किसी में भी कर लो, मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है, एज लॉन्ग एज आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड यू, दैट्स एब्सोल्युटली ओके. द कंप्यूटर सिटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू understands all these languages, C++, Java, Python. Now which language is better to interact with computer does not matter, just pick one. In the end, what's going to be more important is that you are able to communicate well in that language. You need to master that language. You need to master programming overall, and that will basically allow you to do better, right? So it's very, very important that we make sure that overall we just pick one language, we do really well in that, we learn DSA in that language. And once we are done, generally I recommend that move DSA as a side activity. Every week, give 4 or 5 hours. That can be in forms of competitive programming, that can be in form of you practicing DSA, that can be anything on the side. But your main focus has to shift to development. That can be web dev, that can be machine learning, that can be anything else that you want to learn. But if you don't have clarity on what to learn, my choice for you will be web development. See, web development is the backbone for everything else. I want to make an app, I want to build something in mobile. But where will this app get data from? This app will get data from a backend server. That backend server has to be written in web development, right? I will learn backend development to sort of write that. I want to learn machine learning. I want to deploy machine learning models. Where will those models get deployed? How will people access it? Again, maybe through a website. It has to be deployed on a backend server. So web development sort of becomes like a backbone of everything else that you want to do, right? It becomes the backbone of everything else that you want to do. So it's become, if you don't have a choice, if you have a choice, absolutely go for that. If you feel you want to be an Android developer, please go ahead and do that. But if you don't have a clear choice, my recommendation will be that we can go with web development. So Rehan is saying, does CGPA, just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry. So Rehan is saying, does CGPA matter during placement time if I've done good internships and projects? Again, very similar answer. First of all, if you are saying you've done good internships and projects, I any decent company, any good company will not care about your CGPA, right? But generally, what happens on campus is when companies are coming, they tend to put some sort of criteria. That 7 is the minimum I need, 7.5 is the minimum. They'll put some sort of criteria like that, right? But over the long term, I am absolutely sure, even if you don't get like 2, 3, 4 companies in your campus, there is going to be some company which is going to be absolutely great company. If you have good internships and projects, you will be able to crack. And off campus again, you will be able to crack good companies. In the end, if you have good internships and projects, that tells me that you're a good developer. I can assure you companies will be running after you. You will not have to run after companies. That is absolutely clear, right? So don't worry about your GPA that much. I hope it's not like, you're not failing all the courses in college and all of that. So I think you should be absolutely okay. So Ishan is asking, should I do already a CN student complete C++ Java, C++ DSA? Now want to do development. Should I do Java with Spring Boot or Mern? See, let me quickly give you which companies tend to use what. Honestly, again, I think learning web development is more important. Which platform, which sort of technology, I think it's hardly matters. Most of the upcoming startups, upcoming companies will use Mern as the stack that they will be using to build stuff. Most of the large companies which are out there, Amazon, Amazon, Flipkart, these companies would have built most of their work in Java, right? So any fintech, because Java is generally considered to be more secure, any company in finance will be generally using Java as the backend, right? So if you aspire to be at one of these companies, you might want to go with Spring Boot. But if you aspire to be at one of these like upcoming startup in India, like generally these companies are like moving fast, building a lot of great stuff, then you can go ahead with Mern. I think that's the only way you can sort of differentiate what to sort of learn and move into. Okay, so just trying to tell you what type of companies tend to use MERN versus what type of companies tend to focus on Spring Boot, you can accordingly decide which one you think you would want to pick up. Personally, I find startups to be more exciting, maybe because of my background. I'm a little biased, but I would have picked MERN because of that reason. But you can decide basis what your inclination is towards what type of companies. Hmm. Partha is saying, okay, let's take this. So Partha is saying, is higher study useless nowadays? So see, in tech, it depends on the use case of you doing higher studies. I would generally, a lot of people will hate me for this, but I would generally say that if you don't have a very strong reason to do a master's, there is no need. It's not really going to help you in your software development career. If you want to become a teacher, doing a master's definitely help. If you want to become a teacher at a university, doing a master's, doing a PhD, will all of those things will help. Sorry. A lot of people who do masters in the US, honestly, one of the main reasons they do it is because they want to be in US. And doing a master's in US is actually a great entry point into US, and then you can get a job and you can sort of live your life there. And a lot of people do it for that reason. I think that's a perfect reason. If you want to be in the US, I think that's one of the best ways to sort of do that. You need to figure out what is the right reason for you to do a master's. If the ultimate aim is to get a great software development job, do well in software development, I don't think masters is really helping you achieve that. If the aim is doing a great software development job in the US, then it's helping, because that's an entry into that country. But overall, I don't think it really helps as such, because again, the problem is that it's not that the college is going to teach you a lot of these skills. And if you spend that much time, maybe you will spend like 1 year prepping for that master's exam, then you'll spend 2 years doing that master's. 3 years is so much time. You could have learned so much. You could have worked in industry for a couple of years in during that time, that you will be at far better place if you just like spend time upskilling and then work in the industry. That's where you will do the maximum learning. Okay. Shom is saying that I am learning, but I am forgetting after some time. What can I do for that? If you study, just study, you will forget. If you study and you actually put it into use, you will not forget. Let's not treat computer science like history. It's math. It's absolutely math. That's the closest subject that I can think of to computer science. Is there any way you can learn math without practicing? Can you just read a math book and learn math? You need a copy pen. You need to solve a lot of problems. That's exactly true for computer science. The only way for us to learn computer science is to write a lot of code. You want to learn web development, you need to build projects. You want to learn DSA, you need to write code, practice code, right? So if you practice the right way, the right sort of problems, which covers the breadth and the depth, that's what we need to do. And practice does not mean that I'll go on an online platform and solve like 1,000 problems. And 1,000 problems of the same topic. That's absolutely useless. It has to be structured. You need to solve 25. I generally feel somewhere between 15 to 30, 35 for each topic, depending upon the topic, is a good number. And if you choose the problems correctly, it should give you enough breadth, enough depth into the topic so that you don't have to solve a lot more problems. But even after that, like I said earlier, if you have done DSA once and you're moving into development, you should continue practicing some time, spending some time on DSA. In the end, you do realize that finally, whenever you sit for companies, DSA is something that a lot of companies will focus on. So it does make sense that we practice it on the side. I don't want you to spend 4 or 5 months learning DSA, then spending 5 6 months doing DSA, web development or any other development, and at the end of this 12 months, you feeling that now you don't remember DSA. Honestly, that's okay. At that time, if you start practicing DSA, it'll take like 15 20 days and you will be back. But if you keep practicing on the side, I think it'll be great. It'll actually help you in the long run. शौविक इज सेइंग आई एम अ सेकंड ईयर बीसीए स्टूडेंट, मुझे किस पे ज्यादा फोकस करना चाहिए, डेवलपमेंट या डीएसए? कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि तुम बीसीए कर रहे हो। पहली चीज तो ये रियलाइज करो, तुम्हारे आसपास जो बीटेक कर रहे हैं उनको कुछ आता नहीं है, कॉलेज उनको कुछ ऐसा अलग से सिखा नहीं रहा है। सो ये हमें एक्सक्यूज नहीं देना है खुद को कि हम तो बीसीए कर रहे हैं वो बीटेक कर रहे हैं, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? इन द एंड, people who are doing BTech will do well if they work hard. You will find so many BTech graduates who will not get a job. You will find so many BCA graduates who will not get a job. The common between these two things is not BCA BTech. The commonality is that they did not work hard. Now, it might be possible that only 10% of the BCA students are working hard and maybe 30% of the BTech students are working hard. So it feels like BCA के बाद तो नहीं लगती है, BTech के बाद लग जाती है. Because all this environment really makes a difference, right? Like if you go to a college where everybody is working hard, everybody is putting in a lot of effort, it's far more likely that you will also do at least some minimum basic. But if you go to a college where everybody is just chilling and their main, like the agenda is कि यार ऐश करनी है and nobody wants to work hard, then it's very likely you will also not work hard, right? So a little bit of what I want to tell you is that we need to make sure that we are working hard. And I'm telling you again and again, these companies are very, very liberal. They do not care about your background. If you are good, if you're okay, if you're average, then yes, if I have to hire somebody who is an okay and average, then I'll rather hire somebody with like a BTech in computer science. uh, कुछ नहीं भी सीखा होगा, 4 साल कुछ तो दिमाग में गया होगा लेक्चर में बैठने से, right? But if you are good, none of this matters. So don't take any decision because you are a second year BCA student. The answer is again simple. First, we do DSA, we get good in it. I think it should take somewhere between 4 months to 6, 7 months for you to get good in DSA. Consistency is very, very important. You need to stay consistent. After doing that, I think you should move to development. DSA is something that you practice on the side. You are in second year, you still have a lot of time. Please focus on your work. Please focus on these skills. If you give one dedicated year to it, I can assure you it'll change your life. It'll absolutely change your life. See, all of us at some point in our life have to work hard to change the trajectory of our career. That could be when you are getting into a college. Before that, you do amazing prep, you get into an amazing college. What that does is you get into that amazing college where everybody else is working hard. So your trajectory, your path has changed. Now your base level of hard work, that has changed. Even if you are generally not doing anything in life, you will be doing basic minimum work that is required for you to do well. If you don't do that before getting into college and you get into a college where nobody else is doing a lot of hard work, then you will have to put in that extra effort compared to everybody else around you and push yourself to the next trajectory. And once you do that, you become like a good, really good developer, you get into decent companies, then you will be around people who are doing something similar, and your basic minimum hard work level has changed and you will do well in your life. So at some point, we need to put that effort. I'm telling you, your struggle as a BCA student is going to be a lot more people around you. Far fewer people around you want to put in that effort and want to sort of move forward. So you need to make sure that you put in that extra effort and go beyond, right? That's very, very important. Perfect. So Mansi is saying Mansi graduated from a tier 3 college and she's not able to get a good package and company despite she solved 700 plus DSA problems, has built projects in Mohan. So Mansi, first of all, see, one thing that I would recommend you to do is build a strong resume. From these many projects, make sure that one or two stand out and you only have those two in your resume. If you're good in DSA and you have 700 problems, it does not mean you're good in DSA. I'm hoping that these were 700 good sort of variety of problems and not just, for example, I could go to any website and say I want to solve arrays problems and I'll find like 1,000 problems. I solved 700 of them. I hope you have not done that, right? If you would have done variety of problems. For projects, please get it down to one or two. Make sure those are high quality projects, right? So out of these many, just pick one or two, go deeper into it, spend more time on that, right? Build more features, build something more, deploy it, make sure you deploy the project. When you're putting a project in your resume, you need to put a link next to it, that this is where you can go and access and see the project as well, right? So make sure that you do that. And please, all of you, don't worry too much about the package of your first job. See, the career you are building is going to be for a good long 35, 40 years. The money you make in your first year is going to be negligible compared to even the money you will make in your fifth, sixth year. So, what we need to focus on is make sure that we get a good start as soon as possible, not in terms of salary, in terms of learning. So, make sure you join a company where you get to learn a lot. Even if the package is okay, decent, not that great, please join somewhere where you'll get to learn a lot. I'm telling you, that's the best way to gain financial success as well. Financial success automatically follows learning success, right? The more you learn financially, you will keep getting better. So do not keep waiting for a great package to start your journey. Start whatever you get, as long as that company where you'll get to learn a lot, right? And I can assure you, within 1 or 2 years, you will get to those great packages as well. The current economic cycle that we have also is a problem, right? Like, to get great packages, overall companies can afford to pay less and they are paying less. So please spend some more time on your projects, make sure you have a link next to your project, right? And then apply to companies. Just start somewhere where you feel the people are nice, you will get to learn something, you will get to do some good work, and join there. So Bharat is saying, I'm building an online order website for college canteen. I need to integrate payment gateway, but now no payment gateway is onboarding new merchants. Can I put my project in? Absolutely. If you are building that, if you have built it, you should do it. Now for payment gateway, just find some way to do this, right? Just put a QR code there for UPI payments. You will find some way to do some sort of integration, even if this means there is some manual work that is needed. For example, I place an order. I'm assuming that not thousands of people will start using this right away, right? So even if, let's say, 10, 15, 20 people start ordering from it, and the restaurant owner, the canteen owner gets the money in their UPI account, and they just confirm, oh, I got this order, and they process the order. Find some jugaad to make it work. Just go ahead and release it. I would say, like, don't even stop at putting it in your resume. Make sure people are actually ordering. Do a little bit of marketing if needed. Go and talk to your canteen guy, right? That experience will give you so much knowledge, so much experience, that it's going to be absolutely worth it. If you've done so much work of actually building it, then might as well go a little extra, deploy it, make few people use it. And for that payment gateway problem, do some jugaad. You will be able to do it. As I said, put the UPI code of a QR code of the restaurant or the canteen owner, and they'll confirm whatever the order is they are getting, right? Find a way to do this. Rahul is saying, if someone is good in DSA and computer programming, what additional skills should one learn in these times? See, you are in fourth year, right? Now you don't have that much time if you think it from just your college journey point of view. But I would honestly still urge you, if you are good in DS and competitive already, jump into development, work on those projects, right? Make sure that you have some good projects to show in your resume. I'm telling you, it will really, really help you over the long term. It's going to be absolutely critical. For a lot of great companies out there, great startups out there, they will really value you a lot more if you have some good projects to show. So Shant is saying, Shant is in MCA third semester. Not that good in DSA and not that great in development as well. Guide me, what should I focus on so that I'm placed from my college? See, that's a problem now. We need to get good at something. So for DSA, even if you're not absolutely great, if you're okay, you are able to write basic code, you are able to solve basic problems, I think you can move into development if you want. For somebody who aspires to get a job through DSA, honestly, you need to be really good in DSA for you to get a job only through DSA. But if you from development, you can still get decent jobs by continuously getting better at development. And development is something that as you keep practicing, you will keep getting better. A lot of time development also is about not just about that you are sharp, you are able to quickly think about stuff. It's also about how much you know, how much you have done work, how much more work you keep putting in. So hard work generally tends to give really good results in development compared to DSA. In DSA also hard work helps, but sometimes you tend to need that high aptitude as well for you to really do well in DSA. And for you to get into a company which only focuses on DSA, I think your DSA has to be much, much better. And the bar for development is going to be relatively a little lower. So what I'm effectively telling you is DSA at certain level has to be there. You cannot completely skip it. I hope you are able to solve basic problems. I hope you are able to write code. Given like if you know the solution, you are able to write code as well, right? If that is true, I would say focus on development if you are not that confident right now. Okay. So Bablu is saying, I'm a coding ninja student. I have a lot of interest in coding, but I don't know how to build logic. Please help me. That's what you need to do as part of the program, right? When see, one thing that I tell everybody is don't just try to complete something. Try to ask yourself, ऐसा होता तो क्या होता, ऐसा हो रहा होता तो क्या होता, इसको ये करके देखता हूँ क्या होगा. ये आदत अगर डाल ली ना, ये क्यूरियोसिटी, if you are able to build logic, will be you will be able to build it. If from the beginning you are doing that, you are doing it the right way, building logic will not be a problem. You will be able to do it easily, right? So please learn the right way. Vineet, I think I've already answered this question. How can I become a software developer? I'm an electrical engineer. First of all, as I said earlier, you are an electrical engineer is irrelevant to you wanting to become a software developer. So how to become a software developer? I think I've answered. You need to focus on DSA, move to development, do well, build a great project, build great projects, and then sort of have it a great resume as well. See, I can see a lot of questions around. Abhishek is saying, I am from IGNU. Can I get into tech? Right? Somebody here is saying, I'm from electrical. Can I get into tech? Somebody here is saying, I'm from mechanical. Can I get into tech? Somebody here is saying, I'm a BCA student. Can I get into tech? See, guys, I'm telling you one thing again and again. There are going to be 2-3 different categories of people in terms of who want to or who get into software development. Absolutely cream category, great category is people who work really hard, have great skills. Then there's this average category, right? Where basically, ठीक है, I can write a little bit of code, but I'm not that great. I'm not great in DSA. I've never done development. I'm okay, right? That's where majority of the people are. Then there are a lot of people who don't want to get into software development. कुछ करा ही नहीं है, कुछ करना भी नहीं है. ठीक है, that's okay. That's not something that we should be worried about, right? You guys are here. You guys are listening to me. I'm sure you want to do something. Now, in the first two categories, I am saying if you are in the second category where you want to do a little bit work, थोड़ा सा कर लेता हूँ, फिर कुछ बेसिक सी जॉब लग जाए, मैं बता रहा हूँ नहीं लगेगी वो, अगर हमारे ये बैकग्राउंड थोड़े से ऑफ होंगे, हमने इग्नू से पढ़ाई की है. Now the problem is in this second category, there are so many people that companies know, ठीक है, I'll go to this college, I'll hire 300 BTech graduates. किसी को कुछ नहीं आता, सबको मेरे को सिखाना है, मैं सिखा लूंगा. They have set protocols. But if you really want to do in software development, you want to be in this first category, and it's not that thin. There are so many jobs out here. But what you need to do here is you cannot be average, right? So if you've done BCA from IGNU, Abhishek, and you want to get into tech, I am telling you, you cannot just target that I'll go to Infosys. You need to target higher. You need to say, I am going to get absolutely amazing in tech. I am going to get great in tech. Then I can assure you, companies will not care about that you're from IGNU. They will care far more about your skills. But if you want to be here as an average software developer, I think it's going to be very, very hard for you. Right? So if you want to be here, requires commitment, requires a lot of work over a long period for you to get there. So you need to decide whether you want to do that or not. See, another thing I'm telling you, that currently the mood, and because of recession, the mood is a little weird. But in general, companies are absolutely struggling to hire good quality software developers. Any founder you ask, if you had asked any founder 1.5 years ago, what is their biggest problem? I can assure you more than 70% would say hiring software developers is my biggest problem. Because our country produces lakhs and lakhs of developers who are average or below average. We produce very few good quality software developers. That's what the industry requires. If you become one, you will be fine over the long run. It might be a little hard over the next 6 months, 8 months, but that's okay, right? That's the amount of time you need to learn anyways. By the time you complete your learning, I think you'll be absolutely okay in terms of the job market, in terms of everything else. In the long run, you will absolutely be okay. I have zero doubt. If you work hard and become a good quality developer, that's what we need to do. And not just for Abhishek, right? Like everybody out there. Please, if you want to be in software development, I'm telling you, this is an amazing field. The amount of money is there, the amount of ease is there, the amount of respect is there, the quality of work that is there. It's absolutely crazy. So don't try to be an average software developer. Try to be a high quality, amazing software developer, and I'm telling you, your life will be sorted. Absolutely sorted. So Harsh is saying that I'm good in backend. I'm not able to do that well in front end. Am I good enough for off campus? I think you are absolutely okay. Don't worry too much about it. But while we are doing all of this, might as well start doing better on the front end bit as well, right? Like any project that you build, if it has good front end, the first impression does help, right? But even otherwise, I think you'll be okay. If you are a great backend developer, I think that's absolutely okay. You will be fine. But build those one or two great projects. Just one will be okay. Two is okay as well. One or two great projects with not just some basic website. Right? It should have quality features in it. If, for example, if you're building a Quora, let's say a clone, don't just stop at user question answer. Go beyond that. Work on the upvote, work on comment, work on messaging, work on all these additional features which are around this, because that will require you to think of and work with additional things, additional technology, additional features, right? That will require you to do all this work, which will actually teach you. Because every time what happens is you work on a Quora clone, you make these basic things. Then you work on a Facebook clone, you make again the same basic things. It'll be so much better if you just stuck to that Quora clone and just made it far, far better. Right? That will teach you a lot more. Perfect, guys. We are running out of time. Let me quickly take 2 or 3 more questions and then we will wrap it up. So Vipin is saying, I have completed DSA from Coding Ninja's course. Will TA job help me in learning? Vipin, if you will, I've tried this so many times, and this is something that whenever I feel like I'm getting a little demotivated, something that I'll do. If you go to LinkedIn and you put currently people who are working in Amazon and search Coding Ninjas, you will find 400, 450 people, right? Like something around that, 400, 450, somewhere around that. People who are currently in Amazon, who are Coding Ninja students. And one thing you will realize, A good majority of them will be XTAs at coding ninjas. Now there are two things. One is obviously they were TAs because they were good. They had done the course really well. That's why they were allowed to become a TA. But along with that, I think becoming a TA, what it does to you is you have to look at each problem from 10 different ways. You have to help debug people a lot, right? You have to think of various things from multiple aspects that actually makes you a much better developer, much better. Your concepts are much stronger. Personally, my concepts are far more stronger now because I'm a teacher. I've taught it so many times. I have looked at things from various angles. People have asked me all sort of weird questions, which made sure sorry, which made sure that I had to get to a level where I am able to handle all these things, right? So I think becoming a TA will definitely help you get better at your learning. Okay, thank you so much, Soumya. Soumya is saying coding is doing great, whether it is conducting interesting events like Coding World Cup or those guided paths. Thank you, everything. I'm so glad we are able to help. That's what we have been working really hard to do. I'm glad that we have been able to help. Perfect. Perfect. So we have a question. Being a first year student, how to stand out in the cutthroat competition in engineering colleges? The cutthroat competition in engineering colleges is to be average. I am telling you, you are really not thinking it the right way. If you truly believe that people around you, all of them, want to work super hard to build great career, that's not true. Nobody is working hard. Everybody sort of wakes up in third year, fourth year that companies are coming, I need to learn some basics. कुछ तो कर लेते हैं अब. There is zero cutthroat competition in colleges. There might be some competition towards who gets higher grades, who gets what rank. But that's very much irrelevant. A lot of people ask me, does GPA matter? I tell everybody that, see, I think it requires a lot of hard work to get to like absolutely top of your batch. And I do believe that it takes a lot of hard work to be below average as well. Like if I have to screw up my GPA to 5 6, right, I will have to work super hard, that I'll not attend any class, I'll not do anything, I'll miss exams as well, I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that my GPA is low. If I do basic average work, minimal sort of work, I think I'll be okay. I'll have a decent sort of a GPA, which will be what the companies require. So what I'm trying to get to is that if you focus on the right things, if you focus on your skills, there is no cutthroat competition. Secondly, if right now, if you look at the situation, number of people who are high quality software developers and number of jobs, there is still going to be more jobs than number of software developers. So if you have 5 friends, all 5 of you do amazing work really hard on your skills, you will have multiple offers and not just one each. I can assure you that. And you are in first year. I am absolutely sure by the time you are looking out for a job, recession will be gone. We'll be all okay. We'll be in an upcycle. Everybody will be running after software developers and trying to hire them. That's the normal scenario. The normal scenario is not today. The normal scenario is when a great software developer applies for a job, gets an offer, then gets 4 more offers and decides which company they want to go to. That's what a software developer life actually looks like. In the current scenario, it might not feel like it, but that's the normal scenario, right? So if you're in first year, I want to make it very clear to you. No cutthroat competition is there to do well in your career. Everybody around you, most of the times, is just thinking of either college exams or thinking of how to have fun. That's what they're worried about. So if you focus on the right skills, I think you will stand out. Just work on your right skills. And I'm not even saying like put 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Just give minimum basic, maybe 14, 15 hours a week, and you will be absolutely okay. Couple of hours a day on your upskilling. If you start doing from first year, you don't need more than that. Okay. So guys, I think we have run out of time. I will have to sort of stop it here. I hope this was helpful. I absolutely enjoy talking to all of you. I have been trying to do this more regularly, and I will be coming here again to talk to all of you. If this was helpful, love to see you guys again the next time. And I hope I was able to answer most of the questions. There are still questions. You will find a lot of interesting videos on our channel, and you can send requests, you can comment on some of our videos, and our team will pick up and answer those questions through the videos as well. Right? Thank you so much. Good night and happy Diwali. Have a lot of fun on the weekend. But post the weekend, please work hard and work on your skills. Bye bye.